Hello, everybody. Welcome to our patio. I'm going to go over to Instagram and go live over there. I can never talk and do that at the same time.
I'm surprised you can do it, period.
And back to StreamYard. Yay, we did it. So cheers. We're having a little summer patio moment. For those of you who don't know this beautiful man, this is my partner, Brian. Some of you guys who have been Facebook friends and, whatever, Instagram friends and all that stuff, have met him before. Some of you guys have met him in person. Some of you have met him on Facebook.
Not very often. This is a rare public sighting.
This is a rare public sighting. Yeah. I made him a cocktail and then he drank it and then said he would join me. No.
True that.
Yeah, it is true. So we actually, we're actually doing a telecall, a Zoom call starting tomorrow called Creating a Relationship That Works for You. Hey, Parisa. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. And I have asked him over the years so many times to do a call with me on relationships. And he's like my special guest, right? Because I'm an access consciousness facilitator. So it's kind of like I'm doing the call and he's my guest. But he's really brilliant, actually. I'm really excited to share him with with the world. And he finally said yes.
We did one before.
We did a Facebook, or it was a Facebook Live.
It was,
right?
just right in there.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, so.
About open relationships, because we've kind of done everything over the years, including that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So we've been together for 14 years and we have literally been like all over the map with each other and our relationship in a good way, like in a really good way. And I feel like we kind of know a lot and we've learned a lot about creating a relationship that works for us. And I don't mean us as one, I mean for me and for him, and then coming together and going, well, okay, cool. So there's me, there's you, there's the relationship, and like based on all of that, what would we like to create?
Well said.
And we were laughing. We were just totally giggling with each other before we started, and because we actually have like a bunch of things over the years that we've kind of like come up with, like little kind of like guidelines for like one freak out at a time. That's one of them. There's a bunch of other like little.
That's trademarked. That's patented.
Totally. But I think laughter is actually like a huge part of creating. Well, for us, it has been really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being able to, laugh at yourself, which you do all the time. I heard you today in the car, laugh about what you said you were an ass rag, or what was that you said? Referring yourself as an ass rag and laughing about it.
Something like that. So. Parisa was there. She's watching right now. Not taking ourselves too seriously. Because, I mean, there's so many opportunities to take yourself seriously. I mean, every moment of every day. And when you bring yourself to a relationship really seriously, it's going to be serious business. And you're good at that too.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want to say anything about it?
No, there's so much I want to say, but it's out there. I got to bring it in and point it like that. I'm good. You keep going.
Okay. um yeah, I mean, I would say like when we started our relationship, we actually met at a tantra retreat in Antigua in the Caribbean. Really cool story that I won't tell now, but it was like the universe was like, you and you go here and meet,
Crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and and I mean, in the beginning, like there were he had just decided to get divorced, and he was there kind
I
of
mean,
like,
just
yeah,
like seconds earlier,
seconds.
basically, right?
Well, like a week or so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, um, really, and you were kind of there, like,
Just licking my wounds.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not looking for a woman.
And and we met, and it was just like, oh, hi, let's do this, But we were both like, I had a 3 and 5-year-old, no, 2 and 5,
Almost, not even 3.
yeah. And your kids were like early teens.
Yeah, like 11, 13, and 15.
Yeah. So, and he was like going home to like get divorced, and it was like we don't live in the same place. He lives in Seattle, I live in Boulder still after 14 years. And
Still don't live together.
which is another like great,
Yeah, we're going to break the Guinness Book of World Records.
Totally. Yeah. But that is such a cool, like, I'm going to go ADD totally here, because that actually, like, I don't think either one of us, when we met in Antigua, thought, like, we were like, we're going to do this, but we have no idea how.
It's just going to work.
Yeah. We just knew. We were like,
yeah, no, outcome we knew. And how we get there, we knew was going to happen one way or the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, okay, who's going to move? Like we never asked that question. It was never like, well, are you going to move to Boulder or am I going to move to Seattle? Because we knew that we weren't doing that,
Right.
And so then it was just kind of like, well, okay, so that's part of what works. What works is, like, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't, if I upended my life and had moved to Seattle at that time, like that wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked for you either.
No.
So we were like, okay, well then how can we make this work? What can we create here given this circumstance? Like, what can we create here that is actually going to be really cool for us? And I was telling somebody this the other day, like, we've seen each other basically at least every 2 weeks. There's been a few times where we haven't. We have incense, bug repellent incense burning.
That's the rock and roll smoke machine.
I know,
for a
totally.
fact.
That's hilarious. But we've seen each other like basically every 2 weeks or more since then for 14 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that, like, and we didn't try to figure it out. We didn't try to, like, lay it all out on paper, or like, I remember when you left Antigua, we were like, okay, what just happened? You want to talk about that?
Oh, and so both of us had our families, our kids, and this absolutely incredible thing happened. And I remember saying goodbye to you and talking to you the night before, and there was such a certainty of seeing you, but we didn't. It just happened. I mean, and it was what, 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later?
I think, yeah, it was really soon after we left.
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
But there was just permission from both of us to just let it happen. rather than trying to force it through a kind of like a silly putty, thing, trying to make it go through there, just letting it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was so cool because we let it happen and we also were really committed to it.
Oh yeah.
Like we were
Yeah.
committed. We were like, this is really special. And so like we just, it was just like every opportunity that we saw to see each other, we snagged it.
So that might be something to talk about tomorrow is, knowing when something's special and trying to make something special.
Yeah.
So many people waste so much time trying to make something special.
That's so true. That's so true. And I actually wanted to talk on the calls. I mean, we'll see where people, where people want to go, what people are asking for. But I was like, we added like in the, mix of things like finding a relationship that works for you. So finding and creating a relationship that works for you. Because that's a whole thing too. And I mean, we both have, well, his kids are in their 20s and now 30s, and mine are teenagers.
Oh God. Yeah. For one day, I've had a kid in their 30s.
Officially as a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
But the internet cut out for a second. But when you see teenagers, I mean, I see teenagers all the time in my world, like dealing with relationships and all the things and the social media and all that stuff, and you get kind of, I feel like it's reminded me of what what it was like as a teenager, but also because sometimes it can even feel, with dating as an adult, it can feel like you're a teenager again, just with all the like, and especially now, like with the there's all the like the apps and stuff like that, like the swiping and the and it's like that's it kind of puts you back into that like teenage mode, of like, do they like me, do they not, and so there's so much that people get into in their minds about making
That's
stuff
so true,
up
because usually you get, or in the past you got to a certain point where you were past the peer pressure, and then these dating apps come out, and which I've never used before, but I can imagine you could be glued to them thinking, okay, who likes me now,
right, the way you're glued to social media,
and falling into peer pressure again.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you know when something is actually gonna work? And it's not about like, oh, this will be forever, but just knowing like, yeah, there's something here of substance to, to put energy into. And when there isn't, and I think that alone can save people so much, just heartbreak and heartache and head tripping and heart tripping and all the things, because it's such a, like, relationships can just be such a charged area. And even when you're in, even if you're married and you've been married for 20 years, like it can still be, so there's so much that goes on, because it seems like there's just so much kind of like at stake, and I think one of the things that has been something that we've always really both been committed, I mean, we've both just very much been committed to ourselves, each other and ourselves. And like having, like, it's really important to each of us that the other person honors themselves and is present with themselves and like choosing what works for them. And even if it means, like, I always want you to choose what works for you, even if it means I'm not
You get the
included
short
in
end of the
that,
stick.
or
Yep.
yeah, or we're not going to be together, or like whatever it may mean. It's like you got to be willing to. I mean, to me, the freedom to lose is one of the greatest freedoms
It's
that
the
you can
ultimate
have.
freedom in a relationship, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can actually really choose what's going to work for you, and then I mean, I feel like over the years we've really like always kind of been like, okay, so if this is what's true for me and this is what's true for you, and we're committed to that in ourselves and each other, and then we're also committed to like what we're creating here, then how can we use that to create even greater?
Yeah. It's a great question. It's makes you step back and get out of your head and look at things from 20,000 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tamar, it looks like some people just joined us, just jumped on. But hi everybody. You can go back and listen to the beginning of this. But yeah, there's just so many things to talk about with this. How to
So
have
is this going to be like a single episode or a series, or what do we?
we're doing
Yeah,
two
what am I
two
getting
posts.
myself into here?
Well, this is the only Facebook Live, so
Okay.
you're almost done.
Okay, sweet.
um, but yeah, it's two Zooms tomorrow
Okay,
and the next day.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you would like to come and chat with us and just yeah, let's like explore what it is to find a relationship that works for you, create a relationship that works for you, and nurture it, and it's been such an epic adventure nurturing this over the past
Mhm.
14 years. And we said in the beginning, like we've been all over the map. I mean, we've been through a lot with each other, and it's all been such a cool adventure because we've just been committed to. We've actually, I would say, for me, one of our greatest strengths, I would say, is that we're really committed to ease.
For sure. And I would say one of the greatest strengths is that to be completely honest with love, the greatest love you can have for someone is you love them so much you are willing to let them go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is for me the ultimate criteria of true love. If you truly love someone, you're going to let them go. And it may be on this path, it may be on that path, but you love them so much you want them to honor themselves, and whether that is with you or without you.
Yeah. That is a gift of a lifetime. We're going to make out now. So I'm going to have to turn the camera off for that one. So yeah, if you want to come and play with us tomorrow, July 24th and 25th at 1 o'clock Colorado time, which is noon Pacific and 9 p.m. Central Europe time. I think that's when it's happening. Usually after I say a time, I am, aw, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I'm really bad with time. But if you go to heathernichols.com/relationship, that all the information is there, and that's where you can sign up as well. And it'll be recorded. So if you can't be there live, there will be a recording. So thanks for being here.
Love it.
Yeah. And have a great night, everybody. Great day wherever you are in the world. And have fun.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.